Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode. Well, I'm so used to podcasting. Welcome back to another YouTube episode of We Go Podcast, aka What Else Is Going On Podcast. I'm your girl Taria. You can find the audio version of the podcast wherever it is you find your podcasts. Apple/iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. So I am here to give y'all my Summerhouse Martha's Vineyard review. So I was supposed to be doing these from episode 1 and then or having people come on, making them part of the podcast, that's what I would normally do on a podcast, recap the episodes and then upload them to YouTube. And I was like, you know what, Taria, this is like, what, episode 7? Girl, do the review. So first off, I have to say that I'm loving Summerhouse Martha's Vineyard. I know that people compare it to the regular Summerhouse, but I have to be honest, I am enjoying seeing Black folks just be Black folks or just be people. Like, it doesn't always have to be turned to 100. Like, I know some people want more drama, more this, more that, but I personally, this is just me, don't mind seeing them lounge and have conversation and all of that. I just don't. I really enjoy it. And I just wish more people were watching because we'll complain about them canceling Southern Charm New Orleans, and not having a lot of Black shows. And then when we get one, we don't support it, which kind of sucks. Like, even the worst seasons of the Housewives franchises that were non-Black were still supported, you know? Southern Charm, Savannah, I know I keep mentioning that, and that thing went on 3 seasons because the folks were watching it, right? So I just wish we would still watch just to support them. I love the show. Preston has been on the show. We had a good time. Check out that podcast episode. The audio version again is on the podcast listening platforms, or you can watch the YouTube video. So, not to make this too long, let's go ahead and get on into this review. So first up, the episode comes on. We pick up where we left off. Something about Summer, just seeing her on the other side of the door, like stomping through and hitting that box out of the way, just was pissing me off every time I saw it. Like, who do you think you are? And just knocking things out of your way because you mad. Like, and I'm just telling you my feelings. But so, wait a minute, y'all. I thought I lost my notes. I was gonna get ready to call it because my phone died in the middle of taking them, and I was like, if it didn't autosave, I'm not doing it, but it did. So now I just thought I lost them. But so the episode picks up from where we left off with Summer storming out in the box. Noel was following her. Then Noel and Summer end up talking in the room. And Summer is basically trying to tell Noel, look, I'm drunk. I can't have this conversation. I can't talk about it right now. She also tells her, I can't be your anchor right now, Noel. Like, basically, you have Bria and Shanice to do it because we know Summer is feeling a type of way about the bond that Noel is forming with Bria and Summer. And it seems really fun. And that's what she's looking for. So she was like, I can't be your anchor, Noel. Noel's like, it's not about that, but are you okay? Are you okay? So she keeps trying to get to the root of what's going on. Summer says that she's tired of Bria making her feel like she's crazy, but she can't talk about it right now. One thing I will say, even though Summer irks my nerves, is the fact that she is able to say, look, I'm drunk. I don't want to talk about this right now. She tried to tell Noel that earlier before Noel pushed her. Back up. I'm not ready for this. But Noel continued. I get that Noel was trying to comfort Summer and was like, listen, I want you to know that I care about you. I'm here. But if a person is telling you I'm drunk, I can't talk right now, I just need to be alone, you can reiterate one more time. All right, I'm going to go, but I'm here if you need me, and just let them be. Or worst case scenario, if you're determined not to leave them by themselves, sit in the corner somewhere and just let your presence be known. But I get what Noel was trying to do, but that could be frustrating on top of already feeling a certain type of way. Somewhere you're angry. You know that you're being irrational, which makes you even more angry. Now I'm angry at myself because I'm being irrational, but I'm drunk. not able to really say what I really want to say, or knowing I shouldn't say what I want to say. So just leave me alone. But you have somebody in your face trying to almost have like a little mini therapy session. It's like, girl, get out of my room. So I did appreciate Summer for making it very clear to Noel. And at the same time, I can still appreciate Noel for trying. But it's like, girl, leave her be, set her free. Okay. In the meantime, Summer, Jordan, and Jasmine, then Summer goes to her room. Summer, Jordan, and Jasmine are in the room, and Summer just breaks down and just says she's hurt and she's crying. She's on the floor with Jordan. Jordan is hugging her, telling her it's okay. Jasmine is sitting there, and then in the middle of that, Summer says she can't help but just see how good that wig looks on Jordan. And I have to agree, that wig did look really good on Jordan. They all just kind of have a laugh. And she says, I couldn't focus. And that was kind of good just to kind of see Summer for a minute, just like exhale, you know. So the next morning on the screen comes, it's day 10 of day 15, and the house is a mess. That house is always a mess. This is one thing that I will give Amir, is that he cleans, because that house be messy. Everybody's asleep, and Nick gets up ready to run his race. He said he's run 10 marathons. I will tell you this. I love the fact that him and Alex still are dedicated to exercising during vacation. When I go on vacation with my husband, when I go on vacation with Corey, one thing we always do is make sure that we stay in a place that has a workout place, and we work out together, because normally he likes to go at night. I don't like going at night. I will go, but I don't stay as late as him. I get what I got to do and get to moving or whatever. So when we go, every vacation we go on, we have a hotel, we take workout clothes so we can work out together. That's just like our thing. So because I still want to feel good, and exercise makes me feel good. I've been exercising for years, since I was in high school. I did sports, but then I joined the weightlifting club when I was a senior in high school, and then asked my parents to get me a gym membership. So I've worked out my whole life, off and on my entire life. And there's just something about it that makes you feel good. And for me, it makes me feel strong. And I like that he does it. Also, he made the statement that less than 3% have run marathons. I want to be in that club. Now, look, I've never ran a marathon, a full, which is 26 miles, but I have done 3 half marathons, which is 13 miles. And I'm actually thinking about in Baltimore, and I'm actually thinking about doing the Baltimore half in October. It's just all depends on the training. Like right now, because I haven't been training, I could probably go out right now and do 2.5, maybe 3, slow. He runs a 6-something mile, because for him to finish a 5K, which is 3.01 miles in 19 minutes, my goal is to be able to run a mile in like 9 minutes and 59 seconds consistently, not just one. Because then that would have me finishing the half at like less than 2. In less than, child, wait a minute. If I ran, let's just say I ran a 10-minute mile. Let's just put it at 10 minutes. 13 miles is 130 minutes. So that's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Child, I drew a blank. I got scared. My brain couldn't calculate. But so basically that's my goal. So I don't know. And then I hate paying money for certain things. I don't know if I want to pay $120 to run, but I miss running. Like when I was doing it consistently, I missed it. But anyway, this is about Nick. So shout out to Nick for completing this 5K/3-mile run. And then in honor of not in honor, but kind of mentioning in a way, like he came in 5th, and his line brother Bivens, his line number was 5. So I just thought that was really special. And I know that he had to feel good doing that. So shout out to Nick. And y'all pray for me, because like I said, I really do want to run my 4th half. The first year I was like 40 pounds heavier. It was in 2008, and I did it because everyone said I couldn't do it. And I did it, y'all. And then the second year was the year I was like 2009. I was in such good shape, and I did it. I still did it in like 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then my third year, I got cocky because of that second year. I was dehydrated and didn't know it. Like after the race, I was down for like a day and a half. So cocky. So I really want to go into it prepped and ready to beat my time I did that second year. But anyway, shout out to Nick. Amir asked Natalie how she was, after last night. She said it got a little wild and she needed to step away because it wasn't her vibe. Not saying that the girls aren't my vibe, but, that wasn't my vibe. That type of behavior. Moving on, because I'm not spending a lot of time on them. Summer is talking about how life is, she's in a confessional, forcing her to deal with her issues that she's been running away from. And she's feeling really regretful for how she treated the people that she cares about. And she wants to do better. She's saying that in between the confessionals and talking to Jordan that next morning. And they're looking at Jordan's phone. And she tells Jordan, I guess I have to have conversations with people. And Jordan is like, yeah, I'll give Jordan credit. She was there supporting Summer for sure, because we know that they had their thing earlier in the season, but they're friends. So friends should be able, to move on. Preston, Amir, Nick, and Donald are in the kitchen talking about different sauces, and what's his name? Amir and Natalie are in there too. And I think maybe Jasmine, I'm not sure. And Preston says he has a new favorite ranch. I have to be honest, I'm not a ranch person. I'm a blue cheese person. And I only do blue cheese when I'm eating wings. Okay, so if I'm eating buffalo wings, I like a side of ranch, a blue cheese, and a side of barbecue sauce. I mix the barbecue sauce and the blue cheese together, and then I dip my wings, preferably flats, in the salt, in my little concoction that I've made. So I'm not really a ranch person. But Preston said he found him a new favorite ranch. Noel and Alex are having breakfast, and Noel's talking about how sweet the milk is. So I'm wondering, was it like almond milk or soy milk or something like that? And they talk about what happened the night before. In the meantime, Bria is upstairs talking to Natalie, her and Milo, child, spilling the tea, because Natalie seems to be off a lot on her own or in that room, based on what I'm seeing. Okay, they could be cutting stuff out, but based on what I'm seeing, she's in that room a lot. So Bria is in the room with Natalie, running down what Summer said about basically being jealous of Bria and Summer, and Bria and Shanice and Noel's friendship. And then, Bria saying, look, you have Jordan and Preston, and Summer saying, no, it's not what you think. It's not good. So she's running all of that down to Natalie. Cameras go back downstairs, and Alex and Noel and Preston are now at the breakfast table. And Alex said that they've got to start getting in the place where they stop making excuses for people being drunk. And Preston says he's frustrated that people don't know who they are or how they are when they drink too much. And there's like a constant excuse being made for people drinking. He said, if you know you're an emotional drunk or aggressive drunk, just stop. Mind you, this whole time, Summer is hanging out by the steps, eavesdropping with this big old hat on. But I agree with Preston, because he said he gets frustrated when people don't know how they are when they drink too much. The problem is Summer knows how she is and still drinks, so that's frustrating too. It's like when a person knows how they can get and you still choose to drink when you're having those feelings, that's the issue too, because at that point, that's on you. You chose to drink, knowing that you were going to act a complete fool. So I mentioned it, but we see that Nick comes into 5th place in the race, and he talked about how important the number 5 is and his lion brother. Summer comes into the kitchen with everybody and asks Noel if she wants to go to the sunroom and talk. They go to this. Alex talks about how they need to get some things cleaned up outside. So in the sunroom, Noel goes right in and tells Summer, I feel hurt because I feel like you like me, but then you don't like me. Summer says, I have a lot of love for you, but I was just angry at Bria. You were just on, she said, you were just on the receiving end of my anger, and I didn't want you around because it's not fair to you, which I get. It's just maybe the way it came out because she was drunk and she had all these feelings, but basically she was trying to spare Noel. Like, I know how I get. I don't want you to be caught in the crossfires of my anger when the anger is not directed at you. It's really for Bria. She said, it wasn't about you, but when I'm angry, I see red, and I know that's not right. Then she said, I'm more like Bria than I want to admit. They both tend to see red when they get angry. So I needed to make sure I was recording and that my mic was on. So then Noel says, do you remember pushing me? And Summer's like, no. I go back to that moment, and I know that we say, we should keep our hands to ourselves. We shouldn't, do this. But, life happens. And I will say, if someone's trying to like, stop, no, don't go, this and that, and you telling them, stop touching me, leave me alone, you may like stop because they're frustrated. So I can see both sides of that part. But Summer leads with hands sometimes. Remember Bria last summer? She put hands and feet and everything on Bria and didn't get kicked out of the house. But anyway, Summer says no, she doesn't remember. And she apologized and promised that she would never put hands on her like that again. Noel said that it just felt deeper for her. Summer started to cry and said, no. And Noel said, sometimes I just feel like a drunk mind speaks to a drunk mind speaks to sober heart or something. What's the saying? What is it? A drunk mind, speaks to sober heart, whatever. And you come across sometimes like a spicy, mean drunk. And Noel tells her she felt discarded. As they're having this serious conversation, Natalie is now outside with Jordan and Donald, and all of a sudden she's feeling very social and wants to spill the tea to them about what Summer said about how a friendship with Preston and Jordan is. Then we get back to Noel and Summer. Noel was trying to reassure Summer, like, hey, it's okay to say you don't have it all together. It's fine. Your friends are going to be here for you. It's okay that you feel like you're going through something because your friends feel it when you're going through something. And I agree. Sometimes you do need to say, I'm going through something, except for Summer did say that. Even though she said it, it may not have been in the most calm way. Summer was trying to tell you, Noel, I'm going through something. Back up. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it. So she did try to tell you. She said, I hurt for you, but I'm also validated in my feelings too. And she starts to cry. And I get that too. You can hurt for your friend and what she's going through, but also feel a type of way about how they're feeling and how you kind of caught the brunt of their feelings. I totally get, like I said, I see both sides of this situation. I can see where Summer was wrong, and I can see where Noel, I'm not going to say was wrong, but maybe should have eased back and really heeded what Summer was trying to tell her. But see, that's what happens when you don't know a person. These two don't really know each other. I know they say they're friends. Child, they became friends real quick this summer. Noel said, I'm about to be on this show. And Summer brought her on this show. They don't really know each other like that. Okay. All right. Noel says, I don't want to dead this here. Like, basically, I don't want to dead our friendship, but basically she needs some space to think some things out. I get it. I'd have made inroads with the other castmates. So, I mean, I like you though, Summer, so I'm not going to completely cut you off. But now I feel like because she doesn't know Summer, did I just bounce? Because she doesn't know Summer, she has not used to seeing that. So she doesn't truly know how Summer is. So she sees it and she's like, whoa, I like the side of Summer that I've experienced. But in a real friendship, you experience all sides. But you also have the right to say, whoa, this is a new friend. This is something that I'm saying. I don't know if this is a side that I want to get myself involved in. If this comes with everything else, I might just have to be easy. So I get her wanting to take some space. Summer says that's fair. When I'm hurting, I hurt other people, and I'm aware of that. It doesn't make it better, but that's what's happening, and I'm trying to make it better. But clearly, I have more work to do. Noel, in her confessional, says she feels like it's towards the end of the summer and like the vacation, and Summer has shown her true feelings. And then we see the flashback of Summer saying, would you want me to tell you that he's been inside me and I made him ejaculate? Which was a bit like, girl. So you can see what comes along with Summer's personality. She said, I can always forgive, but it's going to never be the same. They hug it out because we know that Noel's touchy feels that he was going to hug. Nick comes back from his race and he has flowers for Tasia. Why did y'all, when I saw Jasmine light that candle and put that candle on that table full of flowers and other stuff, I said, girl, are you trying to set the house on fire? Even if I was going to be in the room the whole time, I don't like anything near my candles, like nothing, just because Nothing. Somebody could walk by too fast and the wind blow and shift it into your candle. Like, I said, girl, what are you doing? But it was funny because Noel must have been feeling the same, because Noel picked up that candle and said, now why she put this candle with these flowers and blew it out. So I thought that was funny. They have the house meeting about Lux on the Bluffs. Well, they were trying to have the house meeting. Bria says, I'm not trying to be rude while being rude. Listen, I'm not going to say I tried with Bria last year, because I just went in open mind because we didn't know any of these people, right? Bria from the start rubbed me the wrong way, and she's still rubbing that same spot. There's something about her that just gives me, ugh. So she's being extremely rude and basically tells Nick, look, what do you need me to do? I don't need to be at a meeting for you to tell me what to do, because no one helped me with my event. They show a flashback of Nick, Alex, Shanice helping her with her event, right? And she's like, just tell me what you need me to do. And I get Nick, like, let's just have a meeting real quick, designate, because he wanted to be able to go down his list or whatever. And even if you didn't want to have the meeting, just sit there. And you know that we know what this night is in honor of and how much this night means to Nick. So just let him have the meeting. So he tells her what he needs her to do. I wish he had said, you know what, Bria, thank you. We're good. You can just go ahead. That's fine. You can go ahead and be with Simon and Milo. It's fine. We're good. We got it. Because we don't need your negative attitude. Anyway, like I said, I've been over her since last summer. She's upset. He tells her what she can do in the bathroom, and her and Shanice walk off, and she's complaining. They're both complaining up the steps, and even in the room, she's still complaining to Simon. And mind you, she ain't say none of this to Nick, but she's talking about she don't do bathrooms and what she don't do and what the blah 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 blah. You ain't say none of that when Nick gave you your assignment. Shut up. Nick tells the group, you know, after he does his designations, that he didn't feel support for his race, like a good luck. Like, how many, that's 2 words. How much do y'all text? Y'all could have texted me, good luck. Y'all could, you know, you could have texted me, you couldn't get out of bed. He says his piece because that's where he's at with it. They all say, thank you for sharing that. No, well, I'm sorry, Preston says, thank you for sharing that. Noel says in her confessional, are you deaf? Do you not see what happened the night before? Do you want us to, you want us to be up early? Like, be for real. Are you tone deaf or something? I think that's what she said. That was funny because it's like, yeah, they went to bed 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. Nick, you got up about 6. I get it. Y'all, Jordan's sitting at this table with this wig and sunglasses like she's in witness protection. I said, now, girl, and then there was a side shot. I said, girl, is that Jordan under there? Because I don't know that person. She looking like she's in the witness protection program. So they're getting things together for the party, and Nick's cousin Bria and Patrick show up. Bria's cute. Summer and Nick's cousin Bria are putting up the drinks, and there's a lot of it. And Bria says, not Bria. Bria says, thank God I don't drink. And Summer said she's not drinking because she got into a last fight the other night. So they're going to hold each other accountable. Tasia arrives at the house looking fresh and beautiful in her pink. Natalie walks Tasia upstairs and shows her to her room. Girl, don't get comfortable walking around that house showing people like as if that's your house. You're a visitor too. We don't want you here. I don't. So don't get comfortable trying to show people around the house. Anyway, Summer asked Jordan to borrow earrings, and they go into the closet, and Jordan brings up what Nicole told her and Donald outside about what Summer said about how heavy it was being friends with Jordan and Preston. You know, Jordan is like, Summer's like, basically, it's not y'all. She's just going through a lot. The conversation ends good. And Jordan says, hey, it's worth at least having a conversation with Bria. So they settle that. Shanice, mind you, so now they're all downstairs, right? Except Summer's upstairs, but it's Shanice, Jordan, and Bria in the kitchen. So Shanice asked Bria where she was at with Summer. Bria says, first of all, private conversation got thrown up in my face, and they show a flashback. Bria had been on the phone with Simon. They got into an argument. She was talking about him being jealous, blah, blah, blah. So when Summer says, that's why your man don't F with you, that's what she was talking about. So Summer, when she said that, it made me think, so Summer has now, she didn't bring up the conversation per se, when she was comforting Jordan about her wig, but she did bring it up like in defense of herself. But then in this instance with Bria, she kind of threw it back in her face. So it's like, are you safe? around Summer. Because at first when Jordan said that a couple episodes ago, like, I don't know if I feel safe around you. I was like, I mean, girl, she didn't say specifically what the issue was. She just said that she was there for you. But now hearing Bria basically make sense of Summer saying, that's why your man don't F with you. I'm like, Summer may have a little thing with doing that. So Bria was saying, basically, I don't want to be around that kind of energy. She didn't appreciate Summer throwing that in her face. Summer came downstairs and it got kind of awkward because Jordan, Shanice, and Bria were talking. Summer asked Bria if she wants to talk, and Bria's like, later, because I have to get ready. And then when Summer says, okay, walks away, Bria says, I just can't get into a conversation like that right now. Mariah arrives at the house looking beautiful. Nick opens a door for her. Other people start to arrive too. Simon is sleeping on the deck. Sir, I'm about tired of Simon. I'm tired of Simon. Amir and Mariah end up in the kitchen by themselves. They have a conversation. Basically, Amir doesn't feel like he should have to apologize. Mariah said she was really hurt by Amir for not speaking up. She said nobody in their right mind would put dogs' clothes in with the regular laundry. She said, you're a realtor, right? So home etiquette. Now, Mariah, I didn't equate that either. I didn't correlate the two because Amir was like, what does me being a realtor have to do with that? I was kind of with him halfway on that one. He says accidents happen. And she said, I don't think it was an accident. Then she said, look, if you're saying it was an accident, cool. All I wanted was an apology. So Amir says, I'm really sorry that happened to you. You notice that Amir said, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Not, I'm really sorry for the part that I played in it. He said, I'm really sorry that happened to you. He said, I've owned my part and I'm sorry you've reacted in a moment. And that was your decision to react that way in the situation, which is true. But he didn't say, I'm sorry for my part in the situation. He said, I'm sorry that happened to you. And then he said, I've owned my part. He said, I'm not sure what you're looking for. She said, I'm not looking for anything. He says, then we're good. She says, yeah. He says, perfect. And they cheers. He then is walking out the door and says, wow, that went exactly how I thought it was going to go, and talks to Nick and Alex about it. So then Nick is basically like, wait. It's 365 days later. Y'all still talking about laundry? We are not going to be talking about laundry. Nat is here. Like, come on. We're not talking about laundry like it's a dead issue or whatever. Okay. Then you got Bria, Shanice, and Noel. Bria says there's a lot of bougie bees there. And Shanice says it's giving dryness. And if she started dancing, they would basically be like, oh my God. And Bria said, yeah, like you caught the Holy Ghost. So the party is not live enough for them. Back in the house, Preston talks to Summer about what she said about him and Jordan's friendship. And he said he was taken aback hearing it. She said those three she said to Preston basically, no. So for context, we have a more in-depth relationship that's more heavy. And sometimes she looks at the three of them, Bria, Shanice, and Noel, and it's just not heavy. It's fun, and she's jealous. She said, I'm going through a heavy time, and life just feels heavy. She said, it's more of a thing than you guys think. I love you. You're my family. Preston said, I'm glad you explained that to me, and I feel like I'm easy to talk to and get along with. But hey, that may not be your experience. And I appreciate him saying that, because sometimes you do feel like you're behaving a certain way or giving a certain thing to a person, but you may not be. And then when they talk to you about it, you may be like, well, I'm doing this, instead of saying, well, I feel like I'm X, Y, and Z, but maybe that's not your experience with me. I think sometimes if people do have conversations like that, you can get to, a better place. He said, if there's ever a time when you feel like I don't need the heavy, I need the fun, hey, I'll be the fun. Summer said, right. And the real ones are the ones that won't leave. Preston said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to cuss you out and I'm going to pull you in. She thanks him for saying that, and they hug. And, Summer is crying because she feels really emotional. And Preston says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. He reassures her of that. Jordan and Preston are then in a confessional. And Jordan says Summer should have said something if she felt like we were overwhelming her in any way. Preston said, we've cried with each other, we've laughed with each other, we've yelled with each other. And that is what I need in a friendship. I don't just want the laughter. I don't just want drinking together. And Jordan says that part, because that's the easy part. I also think she wanted to be somebody's number one. And so she's trying to find her little matching puzzle piece. And we thought we were a tripod puzzle piece. And Preston says, right. Noel's friend Destiny arrives. She comes in a white dress and a Jordan-esque wig. I said, so she walks by. Now we know that Jordan is at the turntables, but then somebody in a white dress with a Jordan-esque wig on walks by. And Amir says, is that Jordan? No, that's not Jordan. Natalie. So then he notices Natalie gets upset and he's like, babe, are you all right? And then Natalie's like, you said, is that Jordan? Natalie, baby doll, I want you to take a deep breath and calm down. Look around you. There was Black women, right? I don't believe that Amir ever liked Jordan because I don't believe Amir would date a Black woman. So you're fine. All right, moving on. Y'all, Amir just, oh. Anyway, Alex then says, if you're Black or Black adjacent, we need you outside. And Jasmine says, or an ally. So I better make sure of them allies. Nick does a speech. He thanks Tasia, and then he talks about his line brother and significance of the number 5. And he said that his line brother would have been there, and it feels like his line brother has been running with him since the last race that he did. That last race, he finished in 5 minutes and 55 seconds. He said that Tasia told him that's his angel number. And and he says, I'm glad I crossed the finish line at 5 because he was with me. So in the confessional, he talks about HBCU culture and homecoming and how Biv was always to his left. He said that he drowned, which is a freak accident because he was a seasoned swimmer. He was a lifeguard in college, and that Biv is always going to be with him in the rest of their line. He starts getting emotional, and he said he thinks about it, and it makes him upset because Biv had so much more to give to the world. He said, I miss him. In his confession on my heart, y'all, I was pretty much crying too, like, whew. But it was nice to see him be able to show his emotion for his friend. So then they do a cheers. And I love that he says, cheers to us, cheers to being Black. It does get a little dangerous sometimes, but it's still kind of lit. It was funny how they put the camera on Natalie's face like this. Anyway, I love how they go inside to get ready to dance. And I liked the history of how they talked about the Divine Nine and strolling. And I like seeing them stroll. And that's when I say, like, they don't got to be jumping from buildings jumping from the table and pissing in bushes like on the regular Summerhouse. I liked seeing Black folks do this. I was fine with it. So they were dancing. Phil arrives and he said, y'all look good. Y'all look real good. I want to go back and change now. So they start turning up. Summer went upstairs and in the closet. She's missing a lot of the fun, but she's just exhausted and she's not drinking. Also, in her confessional that they showed that segment, she had her hair like pinned up. What's wrong with the bob? Nothing. She looked good in that bob, in that red lip, in that confessional. So Phil walks up to Tasia and said, what's your name and who you with? I thought that was funny. There's more to Phil than what we saw last season. Clearly there is. We only saw a few minutes of him, but that few minutes was so horrific. It was like, but clearly there's more to him. I don't mind if he comes back into the house, maybe. Noel twerking, shout. When they started showing Noel twerking on that fireplace took me out. I said, Noel, come on and twerk. You better twerk. So they're having a good time, strolling, dancing, and then for whatever reason, Simon decides to go put on this flamingo costume and come downstairs. Y'all, when I tell you my butt cheeks were clenched, you know how you get embarrassed with somebody else? I wasn't even there and my butt were child tight as a brick. Bria was hot and she was embarrassed. And I think Bria was embarrassed because he was around all them Black folks and she thought that they was probably thinking, what is this man doing? I really do. Like, what is this white man doing with it? Like, it's embarrassing. And I think that really made it work. It was so freaking cringe. I was like, oh my God. So Bria told Simon she was going to break up with him if he didn't stop. Preston is telling him to stop tripping. Because they're yelling. Now they're like in the hallway type thing by the front door. So it's Shanice and was like, this is your fault. And Bria is like, stop it. Why'd you do this? You don't listen. So Preston is trying to tell them like, calm down, stop tripping, stop tripping, stop tripping. Because Bria is hollering and yelling and she snatches the costume. She tells Simon he's making a scene and he says, okay, and proceeds to go to the kitchen and pour him a glass of Grey Goose. And then he must have farted because they were talking about it smelled like behind. And it was stinking. So Natalie, Tasia, and Donald go upstairs, and she ready to spill the tea with them, like, oh, Simon and Bria are in the room. It's about to be something. They show Bria and Simon in the room. Bria said, this relationship is over. He said, the relationship is over because I'm wearing a flamingo. She said, I specifically told you not to. She said, it's big. And then in her confessional, which this does make sense, in her confessional, she said, it's bigger issues that they're dealing with. It's about him listening and respecting her feelings and her friends' feelings, and how he puts himself first. Basically, he centers himself. Bria tells him he's selfish and bugging out and to pack his stuff and go. Like Meredith from Salt Lake City. You can leave. She tells him to pack his stuff and go. And the episode is off until next week. I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed, again, all parts of the episode. I'm really enjoying watching all these folks on my TV. I'm sorry, that image of Noel, I just got it again, twerking on that fire, on that fireplace. Just sent me. I really love how Noel has integrated herself with the cast. I really, really do. And that's it for this review, y'all. I hope y'all are watching. Like I said, it was really good watch. I always watch it on Peacock the next day, because normally I'm either in the middle of something Sunday night or knocked out. So when it comes on, so I normally watch it on Peacock a couple times. So I hope y'all enjoyed this review. I hope y'all watch this show, and I will talk to y'all next time. See you later.